just tell us about the ethos of the Marriott and why actually that when you joined up with Antz, it was a marriage made in heaven. Tell us a bit about what you do.
Absolutely. I think you saw on the screen earlier that Marriott International was born really in 1927 with a root beer stand. From there we went on to airline catering, believe it or not. Yes, we're responsible for that. We're also we're old people's homes, etc., and then eventually went into hotels. And I think from day one, with JW and Alice Marriott, it was always down to giving back, really. I think that's from the very start of the company. We have Spirit to Serve in our community, which is very much about giving back to different pillars across the world. We've got over 4,500 hotels globally, so quite a presence really in the corporate market. We started doing various projects all across the world, so whether it be helping out in disaster zones, whether it's helping out with the SOS children's villages across the world. Fairbridge is an international partner with Marriott, and when I was introduced then to Jen, probably about 3 or 4 years ago now, it really did seem to match our ethos with what Antz was hoping to achieve. So that's kind of where it started from a local perspective, whereas we do work on a global basis, but this regularly gave us an opportunity to work with our local communities and make a difference on our doorstep, really.
And as a hotel, obviously your job is to give people a good night's rest, a good experience when they come to your hotel. You also put on events. So what's the motivation for wanting to give anything back?
Well, I suppose it's two sides of it, really. From my side with the corporate side and the marketing and the sales side of things, obviously we're here to make money, and whether that's raising the profile of our brand, whether it's connecting with people from a business perspective. But there is the other side as well, and as I say, our corporate social responsibility element of the business is really at the heart of what Marriott is all about. So it's perhaps something that we haven't shouted about in the past, and we don't intend to kind of put our hands up and say, great, we're doing this. However, on the flip side of this, it is really, really powerful. I think Jen touched on it earlier. Quite often you're doing things, but nobody's speaking about it, so you don't understand, or you're not aware of how the power of those relationships making a difference in people's lives. So whether that's through the training programs that we do, making a difference in the communities, sort of working with the marginalised communities, working with charities, working with underprivileged, etc. But certainly on the flip side of that, it is about growing our business and moving forward with that.
So just tell us about, you mentioned the training schemes you do. Obviously one of those is in partnership with Antz, isn't it? So tell us a bit about this academy and how that all works.
Yeah, well, sort of globally we have Spirit to Serve, which is, we do pride ourselves on a very high-end, or slightly high-level training for our associates, we call it associates, our staff across the world. And it really is about service. Hospitality is about service. It can be about great buildings, it can be about great food when it comes down to where you go for the service, and that's what we really pride ourselves on globally. And being part of Antz then gave us the opportunity to kind of take the Marriott Academy idea and put it locally into the Antz Junction over in Swinton. So it was the first year this year. We've taken 15 students into our Marriott Academy, and it's whether it's dealing with customer care, whether it's dealing with complaints, whether it's dealing with hospitality, service, any skills that are transferable almost across any industry, really. Sort of we don't guarantee a job from Marriott at the end of it. However, we do guarantee an excellent training program. This also involves taking people into do work experience into the hotels. We had 15 people on the programme this year. We took 8 of those on to be work experience across the 3 hotels that I look after in Manchester. And then from there, they were trained in the ethos of the Spirit to Serve and the skills in this industry. And the Marriott group actually took on 1 person full time, and then from there I think there was 5 or 6 that's gone over to education. The great thing about it, as I say, it is transferable, so it's a service industry. So whether they've gone on to jet2.com, whether they've gone on to IKEA, other service industries, and those skills are transferable, whether they're coming with Marriott or whether they're going to end up at Costa Coffee or the wine bar around the corner or the cafe or, dare I say it, Hilton. These skills are really powerful in whatever industry.
Which is wonderful for them, isn't it? Yeah. But someone taking a step back might say, well, aren't you as the Marriott training up Hilton staff? I mean, that's the cost to you. What is actually the benefit if you're only taking one of them on in the end?
Well, sort of we firstly get to pick the cream of the crop. We also support, as I say, what Antz is doing, it does really mirror what Marriott are doing. We launched in 2012 our World of Opportunity programme, which is a global programme. In Europe, we are planning to, by the year 2020, employ 20,000 young employees, and some of those from marginalised backgrounds, and we're around 41% of the target at the moment, so just over 8,000. And this really supports what we're doing as a company as well. And it's not just about, as you say, making money. It's about giving back and growing that business. And from our perspective, from the CSR side, we are giving back into the community. And from a business perspective, we are growing as well.
And clearly, that's the international, the national ethos of the company. But how has Antz helped you to make connections locally? Were you just kind of working on your own locally? Has it opened up avenues for you?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that it is really powerful. It's sort of companies do all these things, and sort of I've seen it internally with my company, with the Marriott and Renaissance. We do an awful lot internally, that we don't necessarily talk to each other. I mean, I know that there's some faces around the room that I've already met in various, whether that's networking or appointments, etc. But actually being able to pull it together in a formalised environment, or a formalised business opportunity, it is so powerful. And as Jen said earlier, people don't necessarily know where to go yet. Sort of bringing all these people together, we're all trying to achieve the same goal in the end, and it's just how we get there together.
Thank you.